All right, coach, coming off a two-game road trip up in Vermont, weekend split. Um, both goaltenders played well, 5 goals Saturday. Just want to get your thoughts on this past series and then heading into a third home game this Friday against Merrimack and home with them.
Yeah, it was certainly happy to get that split on Saturday. I was especially being down 2-0 on the road after losing on Friday night. The way I thought that power play goal was a big goal for us at the end of the second period, and then I felt like it taken a month to get 3 goals, and we got 3 in a minute. So it was nice that finally broke open, and we were able to get that win. And it's been a long 5 weeks with 8 out of our first 10 on the road, and with the exception of Friday night, I thought the teams played pretty well, and we're looking forward to getting back here at Toscano.
Awesome. All right, we'll open up for questions. Randy, you want to start us off?
You got it. Hello, Coach. How you doing today?
I'm great, Randy. How are you?
Really good, thank you.
Good.
Yeah, just if you could expand a little on like that 3-goal outburst, and you referenced that you've been in every game and are generating opportunities. Is there like a sense of relief among the guys when their obvious offensive talent kind of comes through after so many games of frustration?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we got 5 against Union, and I just think it's something that we have to continue to focus on playing well and creating scoring opportunities and maybe getting the puck to the net more. That was certainly a point of emphasis for us on Saturday, is getting more bodies and pucks to the net. And, when you saw with Frazier's goal, he got to the net. Matty Woods, both his goals, he got to the net. So those are things that we are really focused on.
Defensively, that core has been limiting opportunities and shots on goal. Both goalies have been playing well. What are you doing right defensively? What's something we could look for that when you guys are right defensively is happening?
I just think it's team defense. It's not so necessarily, obviously your goaltenders have to be able to make saves. You're going to give up chances in a game. There's a lot of good teams. Like we're playing Merrimack, and they have, some outstanding players in Jeffries and Capone, and we're going to give up, chances, and your goaltenders have got to be there. You got to avoid giving up second and third opportunities. You got to avoid giving up odd man rushes. I think when we're playing well defensively, you don't see us giving up odd man rushes, and you don't see a lot of second and third opportunities.
I think Hugo Olis, big 6'8" goalie.
Sure.
Right?
Yep.
And I know they split goalies, but like when you face a goaltender that you don't see many 6'8" goalies, do you change anything, or is it still about generating your offense and shooting as you would on, any regular, I guess, quote unquote, regular sized goalie?
Yeah, no, we don't change. We really don't change anything the way we play. And we've played against him for the past couple of years. He's an excellent goaltender. Again, if he sees it, when he gets a clean look at it, it's hard to beat him. So we're going to have deflections, rebounds, and take his eyes away.
Okay, thank you.
Sure, Randy.
Joe, we'll head over to you.
Thanks, Colin. Morning, Coach.
Good morning, Joe.
Face-offs have been something we've talked about a lot. And you've got 4 guys, your 4 centermen are all above 50% on the winning face-offs this year. What have they done different? What do they work on? How do they work on it in practice? What's the process behind becoming better on the dot?
Yeah, I just think it's something that we do work on in practice. We'll work on it today in practice. We put a lot of emphasis on it. It's not necessarily just the centerman, though. I think you have to have help from your wings or your defensemen, because a lot of draws are 50-50, and it's who's going to get in there and help win it. So it's, and then, Hudson Chandor has a lot of experience taking faceoffs in this league. And Samu's, he's always been a pretty good faceoff guy. He's just has a knack for it. Tabor's done a good job for us, and we've had a bunch of other guys take draws too. I think Tristan Frazier can get in there and take draws, and Oliver Flynn has done a decent job, but it is something we work on in practice. And I'd like to keep it well above 50%. That bodes well for us.
Jack Pascucci got a run on Saturday. What had he done in practice from the first game of the year to now that encouraged you that he can carry his load with Harrison on that defense pairing?
Yeah, he's continued to work hard. I think, as all our defensemen have. He had sat out a couple of games, and he brings a big physical presence to our lineup. And, there was no real, it was time I thought we'd get him back in the game. We were coming off a loss, and right. They're a pretty physical team, Vermont. So we thought his physicality could help us. And I thought he played very, very well on Saturday night.
Final one for me, Cav. What's a typical Merrimack team, and does this year's team exemplify what they've been like?
Yeah, I think Scott does a great job of getting them to play with a lot of pace and high tempo. There's not a big drop off between any one of their lines. Their defensemen are very active. They get in the game. If you turn the puck over, they got 3 or 4 guys right in the rush coming at you. So we're going to really have to manage the puck well through the neutral zone. They have a smothering defense in the offensive zone. We're going to have to keep the puck moving in the offensive zone and not let it stall. And they've got 2 excellent goaltenders.
Thank you.
Yep.
We'll head over to you, Dan.
You mentioned earlier how you finally get a game at home. It's crazy that we're into mid-November. You've played twice at home, once at Toscano, and it's not like your road trips have just been, up the road. So how helpful is it for the team to get a game here at home on a Friday night, and just to start having a little bit of regularity at home too?
I think it would be great. 3 of the last 5 Thursdays, you're getting on a bus and going on the road, so for us to be able to be home on a Thursday night and play at home on Friday and kind of have a normal day, it'll be a nice change for us. But also, I think playing on the road can harden your team, and I think that pays dividends later on down the road, later in the season. Having gone through those types of games, it's hard to win on the road in college hockey. It really is. And we've played pretty well. Like I said, with the exception of Friday night, I thought we've played pretty well in our opponents' buildings.
In normal circumstances, we'd be looking at Arsenie's 2.4 goals against average and .916 save percentage and saying he's having a pretty good year. But Ethan's numbers are just crazy right now, with a GAA 139 and then a 942 save percentage. I feel like a lot of times when we talk about a goaltender competition, it's this guy's not playing well enough to stay there. But is there also another side of it where just one guy is so good that you can't take him out?
That certainly can happen. I don't think we're at that point yet. But if one guy is just playing completely lights out, yeah. I mean, throughout my career, I've had no problem riding a hot goaltender if that's the case. But I do think they've both played exceptionally well and given us chances to win hockey games every night.
With a young goaltender like Arsenie, it seemed like he had a bit of a rough night up at UVM. Is it important to stick with him and continue showing him that confidence after a rough outing when, like you said, he's played pretty well and one bad game's not going to sink.
You know, the thing about Arsenio, I'm sure he would have liked to have had the first 2 goals back. You know, one was he just fell down on the first one and it was kind of mishap there. The second one, I'm not, you know, again, I think that's a goal that he'd probably like to have back. But also in that game, we gave up 16 grade A opportunities. The most we had given up in a game prior to that was 8. So he held us in there in the second and third and, you know, gave us a chance to try to get back in that game. We just couldn't score any goals for him. So there are some nights where that happens and your team gets a game back to 3-3 in the second and you got a chance to win it, you know, and he gave us, I was really impressed with how he performed in the second and third period after having a first period like he did.
Then Nick Capone missed the weekend at Union with that lower body injury, came back for Lowell and then back out. Is it just the type of injury that you have to manage? And, you know, he may be there some days, maybe not. Was it a re-injury? Just what's his status going forward?
Yeah, well, the injury he sat out for at Union was not the injury he sat out for last week. He has not practiced yet this week. I haven't talked to the trainers yet or to Ed yet to find out what his status is for today. But hopefully, you know, he can get back because he's certainly a big physical presence in our lineup. And I'd like to have him in there, but he's got to be, you know, 100% healthy before we get him back in the lineup.
All right, Adam, we'll jump over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Coach. You know, I think we've talked all season about how the chances have been there, and College Hockey News put out some analytics in the last day that shows that UConn is the team that has the lowest goals scored versus expected goals scored, which, I mean, it just speaks to what you are talking about. Does that feel right that you are at this point sort of the unluckiest team in the country in scoring goals?
Well, it doesn't feel right that we're unlucky, I would say, but
yeah.
Hey, sometimes that happens. It's also only 10 games. So
yeah.
Usually that stuff evens out over the course of 34 games. So if we continue to play the way, I'm more concerned with us creating those chances and being a team that, you know, if we're constantly in the 4.5 to 5 expected goals a game, it's gonna usually even out for you somewhere along the line. So that's kind of the number I'm more creating chances, the number I'm more concerned with.
Yep. Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Randy, we'll head back to you.
Yeah, just want to follow up on Daniel's question. With both goalies playing so well, how much do you credit the internal healthy competition of pushing each other? You know, it's been 2 years in a row of goalies that have played well, and you know, also the I guess the factor of staying fresh. Like, how much are they complementing each other to succeed as individuals as much as they are?
Well, I think with our schedule, where I kind of alluded to earlier, where you're playing 8 out of 10 on the road, and a couple of those have been, you know, Friday night at 7 and Saturday at 4. You know, I know, like up at Colgate, at Union, back here when we played Lowell. It certainly is helpful to have a fresh goaltender in the net. And you've seen the success the Bruins have had with it, and you've seen a lot more pro teams, you know, splitting the net, because the wear and tear on goaltenders is a lot when you're playing every single game. So that being said, if both goalies are giving us a chance to win, we'll continue to play 2 goalies. If there's one that separates himself, then we'll go in that direction.
Thanks.
Joe, we'll go to you.
Hey, Kath, can you explain exactly what constitutes a grade A chance? I've never heard that fully explained.
Essentially, it's they draw like a little house, Joe, between, the face-off dots and the top of the circles. And if you're getting a chance in that area, it's usually a grade A chance. So if you could picture that, from the face-off dots going directly to the posts out to the top of the face-off circles, that's why they say the house, get shots in the house. Those are grade A opportunities.
Okay. My DIY is not strong, so I'll have to draw that out. Thank you.
Yeah. Next time I see you, I'll do it for you.
Dan, we'll head back to you.
Aside from Nick, anyone that is a question mark for this weekend?
I don't think
Besides
so.
Blue?
Yeah, not as of right now, no.
And then I know it's like right on that shoulder season of weather, but have you broken out the big heavy winter stuff for this game at Merrimack in that rink?
I have not. They've done some renovations to it, which look really nice. So I think that'll be fine. But with my 3/4 zip's pretty warm, so I'll be all right.
Speak for yourself. I'm gearing up for that one.
All right. Wear an extra layer.